Guys, I once had a deal worth 7 figures lined up only to lose it overnight because of a simple mistake. But what I learned changed my entire sales game. And in today's video, I'm going to make sure that you never make that same mistake. The reality of it is that tech sales can be brutal. You grind through cold calls, you spend hours on demos, and you craft a perfect pitch only to see deals slip right through your fingers. I mean, in tech sales, you can deliver an incredible pitch, but the client will sometimes ghost you. You can spend hours researching and understanding every feature and explain every feature to the prospect, but the prospect may not be convinced. You can follow your script to the detail, or you can alter that script for your own sound, but the client just doesn't connect sometimes. You can assume that the client or prospect will reach out when they are ready, and yet the competition beats you to the deal. And I've seen so many talented people struggle to close deals because they unknowingly make the same 5 mistakes. Now, let's break them down so that you never make these same mistakes again. And for those that don't know me, my name is Antoine Wade, and I've spent over a decade in the tech world, leading sales teams, closing multi-million-dollar deals, and helping professionals just like you break into tech sales. But more importantly, I've learned firsthand, because I've been in the sales role and still am in sales, what works and what kills deals before they even get started. And these aren't just common mistakes. These are real deal breakers. Now let's fix them. And the first mistake that I see many new salespeople make is focusing on features instead of benefits for the client. I've been in tons of meetings and I've seen salespeople so hyped about all the cool features of the product and the software. So you list them all and you tell the customer exactly what this software does to the detail, but the client doesn't care. And the reality of it is that customers don't buy features. They buy solutions to their problems. One of the biggest things I learned about sales is to understand where people are today and where they want to be. And you have to be the bridge in between. And it's really about making it about them. So instead of saying our software has real-time data analytics, you should say something along the lines of our platform helps cut reporting time by 50% so that you can focus on high value work. So your goal should be to translate features into benefits that directly impact your client's bottom line. And the next mistake that I often see is account executives talking more than they listen. Listen, I've been around a ton of salespeople, and a lot of salespeople just have a ability to talk. They want to dominate the conversation. They want to create the narrative. They want to own the conversation. Well, the reality of it is you think the more you talk, the more convincing you sound. That's not the reality of it is. Clients don't need any sort of lectures. They need a solution to their specific problem. And when I found people who just constantly talk, they don't actively listen. So to fix this problem, you should work on actively listening. You should pause after key points that you discuss with your clients, or if they are talking, listen very closely. Ask open-ended questions like, what's the biggest challenge your team is facing right now? And take notes and reflect back on the concerns that they give you. One of the things that I learned is that when you let the client talk, they'll tell you exactly what they need to hear to say yes. Another mistake that I often see is account executives or salespeople ignoring the customer's unique needs. You get all pumped up for a client meeting and you think that they're just the same, and you use the same exact script for every one of your prospects. And you shouldn't be doing that, because every company has different pain points, and a generic pitch makes you look lazy, it makes you look disconnected, and it makes you look like a person who just haven't spent the time to do your research. And one of the things that you can do is to customize your approach. So research the client's company, before the calls. You should probably do it a couple days before the call. Reference their industry, their competitors, their recent challenges. Those are all the things that you need to do in order for you to customize your approach. And do your best to make the messaging personal. So say something along the lines of, I noticed your company is expanding. How are you handling that growth from a technology standpoint? The bottom line is that the more relevant your pitch is, the harder it is for them to say no. And here's another mistake that I often see a lot of salespeople make, and it's because of Zoom and Teams and people not putting in the time because they feel like they can use the notes section of a PowerPoint presentation to where they end up sounding like a robot. And it's because they follow their sales script word for word, and it sounds unnatural. And this is a big problem for clients because clients hate feeling like a number. I mean, like, just imagine somebody coming to you with the monotone voice and a monotone script, and you just aren't going to take it well. I mean, like, just the reality of it. So understand what it's like to be a client, and you will see exactly how you don't need to do things as somebody who is in sales selling to a client. And to improve in this area, just use the script as a guide, not a crutch. So know your talking points, but adapt the conversation and use your natural language most importantly, because you need to use language that match your tone and also matches the client's tone, and add personal touches based on the client's responses. At the end of the day, guys, people don't buy from robots. They buy from people that they trust. So make sure that you are building authenticity in your communication, which therefore will allow someone to trust you. And the last mistake that I see many sales professionals make is lack of follow-up. Many times you think that the client will reach out when they are ready. And the reality of it is that if you are not following up, there is someone that is. So in order for you to improve in this area, you just have to have a follow-up strategy. So send a thank you email immediately after any meetings. I personally like to use websites like Paperflight to have a recording of the meeting on the site so that the customer have access to it, and even record the transcription or use ChatGPT for the transcription so that they have access to that as well too. And then follow up within 48 hours with any sort of value add, any case studies, any industry reports, any relevant insights that you find from Google Trends. The goal here is to stay on their radar because 80% of deals require at least 5 follow-ups. The fortune is made during the follow-up. So don't allow for your competitors to sneak in there because you lacked follow-up. Now let's shift to common strategies that win deals. Well, first, you want to shift from features of the product to the benefits of how it's going to help your prospect. Second, you want to let the client do more talking than you do. Now, there's going to be times when you can do the talking. It could be at dinner. It could be, when you are passionately discussing something personal. But for the most part, let your client do more talking than you do. The third thing I would say is to personalize every single pitch and every single reach out. Even with AI, you still need to add some personalization to it because people understand what is AI and what is not AI. It's very easy to understand that. Fourth, I would say use scripts as a guide, guys, not a rule book. If you are using scripts and you are reading the exact same thing that's in the script, you're going to sound monotone and it's going to sound unauthentic, if that's even a word, but you want to sound authentic and you should add your own flavor in talking your natural language. And the last thing I would say is to follow up relentlessly. And if you can master these, you will close more deals and you will close them faster. Now, you remember that 7-figure deal that I lost? It was because I didn't get my executives to buy into the customer's needs at that time. It was on me, and the competition closed it, and they closed it instead of me. But once I fixed these issues and I fixed the 5 mistakes that I've made throughout my sales career, I started closing more deals than ever before. Now, for all of you who are in sales or in tech sales, which mistake are you going to fix first? Drop it in the comment below. And guys, if this video helped you, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, because we drop videos on a Tuesday and Thursday, and you don't want to miss any of our future videos. And share this with someone who needs to see it. Tech sales isn't just about pushing products. It's really about solving customers' problems. Now let's start closing more deals.